So Kim, I don't know if you want to talk us through the diagnosis story with the boys.
So Brett was diagnosed 2 days after his first birthday. Had been super sick his whole first year. Never heard of cystic fibrosis. And then they did the sweat chloride, and I got the phone call, and it was confirmed. Then 2000 came, and Blake was born. We knew Blake had cystic fibrosis before he was born. We had done the gene testing.
Okay.
They had us do the pre-screening, and having known that Blake had it, it gave us a minute to just kind of absorb and then be ready going forward. It was kind of ironic just watching them through the years, how different two kiddos in the same four walls of our home, how different their CF would play out.
So how was it having a brother, growing up with a little brother that had CF too?
I wouldn't change it for a minute, because we knew what each other was going through, and I understood when he was sick and not feeling good, but I was feeling good, that I really needed to help him out. He's not feeling great. Or if I was at school and he would come to me and say, hey, I'm coughing, I really don't feel good. Can you text mom or call mom, or
oh wow,
and I would help him out as much as I could.
You could confide in each other, help each other out, bump some enzymes off each other. But I love them so much. Yeah.
And
To be able to watch them both play football and I always wanted life normal for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? CF was just part of the equation.
That's right.
It didn't define who they were. And I wanted them to understand that,
Having CF made you so much more appreciated. You appreciated life so much more. You wanted to be just like the person next to you in class or on the field. And you could. You just had to work 10 times harder to be that person.
Right, you had to do more than they did.
But it made it so much. It made it worth it, and I wouldn't change anything I did in the past, because it all was worth it. It all was, and making those memories with those friends, and especially on the football field, like those buddies I still have to today, and going through everything that I've gone through. They've been there every step.
So diagnosed with CF, went through hospitalizations, treatments. That's making you, have a little resilience, right?
Oh,
and then you're living for football, school, and your buddies. And then you just start going through hell. I don't know if I can swear. It's my interview, but dude, you went through some stuff.
After high school, I didn't go to school right away, because I wasn't in the best of health, and I knew that. So I knew school wasn't right away. It wasn't meant for me right away, and I wasn't even sure school was going to be a thing for me. And so I started working at the airport. I worked there for a couple of years, and then I got a job working for a steel company. And after I started working for the steel company, that's when I started going downhill, and that's when I really got sick and needed a lung transplant. And then that's when I finally got my lung transplant on August 9th of 2019.
Wow.
Best day of my life.
Yeah, wow.
And the hardest day of my life. And then 2 weeks later, I went from 20/20 sight to blackout blind.
Nobody said, hey, you could lose your sight.
You said, you had a book of all the things that could go wrong.
The book was yay thick.
Right.
There was a million scenarios of what might happen and what could probably happen, and this was not on anybody's radar.
So I can't imagine, as a mom, going through that and seeing that. And then a few years prior, we lost Blakey boy. I remember all that. Watching him, kind of go downhill, how hard was it for you?
So it was incredibly hard. Actually, after he passed, I kind of went into a depression phase where I had just had a hard time moving forward. And I struggled with that for a year. And I still, to this day, sometimes get down about him not being here. And I know, you know, he's up there and he's not in pain anymore. He's got healthy lungs and he's looking down, and I just want to make him proud, and I want to do everything that he didn't get to do and more. And, you know, to graduate and walk across that stage, and I know he'll be right next to me.
We spoke a couple years ago about a scholarship. I'm like, we have to do a scholarship. We have to do a scholarship.
Really?
Gosh, just a legacy with you boys and the family is so cool. So we developed the Bowman Brothers Trade School Scholarship.
Yeah.
Amazing.
In honor of you and Blake.
Yep.
Because your drive to just overcome and do things beyond any obstacle is like incredibly inspiring to me and the CF community. So we wanted to shed some light on that.
4-year colleges are amazing, too. But for someone that, you know, maybe wants to do a shorter route, it's a great way. It usually is cheaper a little bit, and you can get in and out in maybe a year or two and have a career ready to go.
Yep.
And be making more than what you would as someone that has a 4-year degree.
Exactly.
I hope that it brightens a light and shows people that maybe thought like, you know, I couldn't afford to do it, that you can do it.
We're going to give away about 8 or 9 $5,000 scholarships this
8 or
year.
9?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It's gonna be
You know, and it's like your drive to help people and keep going is kind of what inspired this. So we have to thank you, actually.
You know, and having gone through lungs, now it's just like he's like, next chapter, please.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Next.
Yep.
That's where you roll, man.
Yeah.
Right.
No other medical thing, so we're good.
Yep.
We're good. Now
Yeah.
it's your
We're
next
rolling.
your next chapter, buddy.
Yeah.
Literally.